This next couple, power people, don't need much of an introduction. I think we all know who they are. Frank and Lisa are here to talk about the Hope Quotient, and you mentioned this in, I think, several meetings you've mentioned hope, and we have had this sort of ringing through. And what it reminds me of today is with Karen's comment that my dreams are here to be fulfilled. One of those dreams is to continue providing hope for ourselves and for one another. And I think it's really, really crucial in today's age that we have an opportunity to hear from these individuals talking about what this Hope Quotient can do for you and your business. So next up, a culture that it just isn't policies and values, it's the foundation of business success. Frank and Lisa.
All right, I've got 3 minutes. Got 3 minutes. We got to do this fast. Can someone tell me one more minutes? Oh. Okay. Hello, I am Lisa Sinnott. I am a miracle. I was supposed to be murdered in my mother's womb. They told her, due to medical reasons, that 3 doctors tried to convince her to abort me. That was the first time she heard from God. She wasn't a Christian, never heard from God in her life, but that morning when they tried to convince her to terminate me, she said, nope, it's going to be a healthy baby girl, and her name's going to be Lisa Lynn, and here I am. So, God has always been very real to me. I ended up being a divorced kid, went from a stay-at-home mom. We moved to the hood in Oakland between MacArthur Boulevard and East 14th. If anyone knows anything of ghettos in certain states, I was definitely in the hood as a minority. And I had this pretty face. So what did that mean? It was turned into a problem. 6 years old, I was sexually abused. 12 years old, I was sexually abused, both by people that I trusted. And then I saw Freddy Krueger, you know that scene behind the bed, and it comes up, what's that? Nightmare on Elm Street. His claws. All of a sudden, I remembered those 2 incidents I had forgotten. I was terrified. Then 13, my best friend turned me over to the man who had raped her since she had hit puberty. So I had to then consider terminating my own life. Suicidal ideation was huge from when I was 12 until that happened when I was 13. And then I actually did try to terminate my life and was unsuccessful. And that is when I came up with the request to move to my dad's, who, of course, said no. So that left me abandoned once again. Definitely had men issues. Therefore, my men picker was broken. So 2 divorces later, I had to heal up and believe in love again, which I did. I am now happily married to John Sinnott, and I never knew that someone didn't have as much pain points. There's not enough country songs to define my life. That's why I love country music so much, and I dance to country so well, because it just resonates with me. But God has turned my pain into a purpose, and resilience has been real and necessary my whole life, and that is why I have partnered with this incredible human on infusing hope and encouragement to the world.
Yes. Wow. You know, trying to tell a story after hearing 2 young ladies do such an incredible job, it's kind of anticlimactic, but here we go. I was born and raised in the South, and my schools didn't integrate until I was in 8th grade. So I grew up in segregation. People could call me the N-word indiscriminately without any fear or anything. So, second of 15 children. I'm not dishonoring my dad, but he carried on the tried and true stuff that happens in the South of beating my mom. His dad beat his mom, his dad's dad. It was normalized in my culture. That was part of what I grew up experiencing. So I was a good student in school, even though I was 4 feet 10 inches tall when I was a sophomore. You can laugh. I've already had therapy. So, yeah, 4 feet, 10 inches tall. So, I didn't have much of a social life or any of those things, but I was a good student. So, but no one told me that I could go to college. So when I was 18, I joined the Air Force to escape my upbringing. Peterson Air Force Base was my first duty assignment. Back then, only 3% of the Air Force was black. So you could go a whole duty assignment without seeing another black person. So I thought it was a recharging of what I knew already, and that I was back in the same situation. But these people were so kind to me. I had my first white friend ever in my life. This is one of the reasons that Colorado Springs is so special to me. Right here in Colorado Springs, the first time I ever had a white friend in my entire life. I just smoked the Air Force. I spent 8 years. In my 7th year, I became the second youngest person of my rank in the entire Air Force. And in my movement and things, I started having voices in my head that was, you know what, Frank? You're a fraud, and these people are going to find you out. So the messaging in my mind and my upbringing caught up with me, so I sabotaged my Air Force career. I fell off the wagon so badly, by the time I hit my 8th year, they wouldn't even let me stay in any longer. So here I am, 26 years old. I had done my undergrad work in business by then and nowhere to go, so I thought I'd marry my Japanese girlfriend. Thankfully for her, it didn't work out. The military wouldn't let me discharge on foreign soil, so I came back to America, had a wild hair, thought I'd come back through Colorado Springs one last time on my way back to Japan, holed up in an old motel down on South Nevada, and for 3 weeks I did what any respectable drunk would do. I got drunk, blew all my money, and I became a homeless guy on the streets here in Colorado Springs at 26. 6 years and 6 months in the homelessness, someone walked by and asked me to tell my story to them. I did, and they took me home with them. And it totally changed the trajectory of my life, that someone could see a dirty, filthy, unkept homeless dude and see some value in him. Nothing's been the same. Today, all 3 of my children are C-suite executives in business. They do incredible work. I'm so proud of them. And life has never been the same because someone gave Frank Sinclair hope.